Greetings YouTubers, and welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts collection overview video. Today I'm going to go through my Grindhouse Releasing Blu-rays, and we'll get into the Synapse Films Blu-rays, and I'm going to show you 5 Digi-packs from filmmaker Lorie Brewster. Some really good movies, really cool editions I'm going to show you guys. And at the very end of this video I'm going to tack on some box sets and some more VHS tapes as a little bit of filler for the video. So hope you guys are having a great weekend. Consider sticking around, check out this video, get yourselves relaxed, get a beverage and a snack, and let's check out the Grindhouse Releasing, Synapse Films, Lorie Brewster, and some box sets. Okay, before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody out there who's been watching, commenting, giving thumbs up, and a big hello to the newest subscribers. I've been getting a lot of new subscribers lately, so thank you very much for that. Thanks for stopping by. I always enjoy hearing from you guys, so if you want to comment, leave any suggestions, that's always cool to hear that. So these are alphabetized. There's not a whole lot to the shelf here, so the first one's called An American Hippie in Israel. This was kind of a weird movie, but I was really glad that they released this because I would have never even heard of this movie if it wasn't for Grindhouse Releasing, and I thought it was a pretty decent movie. This is a deluxe limited edition 3-disc set, which includes a Blu-ray, DVD, and a bonus DVD. They're calling it the most psychedelic movie ever made. I wouldn't even really know how to describe this movie, but it's definitely a period piece. It has that 60s hippie vibe to it. This was limited to 2000. I got number 1548. Pretty fun movie though. Next one was a beautiful release of The Beyond, the Fulci classic, with a glow-in-the-dark cover. Comes with a outer shell and then the movie's on the inside. You get a bunch of bonus materials here. You can see all the special features. It is a 3-disc deluxe edition with 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. And this was a really beautiful edition. And then they even upgraded that. This is probably their best release to date. This is the deluxe hardbox edition of The Beyond. This thing is gorgeous. It's a 6-disc set. You get a 4K, 3 Blu-rays, a DVD, and a CD soundtrack. And look at all those bonus features. It's pretty amazing. So those are the 2 The Beyond editions. I really recommend it. If you can track this one down, definitely do. But either of these are definitely worthy to add to a collection. Next one is a spaghetti western. Another reason why I really love Grindhouse Releasing is they have several different genres of movies that they release. This one is a western movie, an Italian western, called The Big Gun Down. It's a 4-disc collector's edition. You get 2 Blu-rays, a DVD, and a CD soundtrack. Lee Van Cleef, Tomas Milian. This movie is amazing. I really love this movie, and this is a beautiful edition. Really glad to have this. Now, this one is definitely one I would love to see a 4K upgrade if they ever decided to do it, and if they gave it, you know, this kind of a treatment right there. Obviously, they're not going to be able to give a 6-disc box set for The Big Gun Down. But if they came out with a new edition 4K with hard shell box, I would definitely buy it. So definitely recommend this one, The Big Gun Down. We have a couple of cannibal movies here back to back. This is Cannibal Ferox by Umberto Lenzi. And These are pretty fun movies. But again, I've mentioned this before in my videos that I have to be in the right mood to watch these. But these are definitely the best editions of these movies. This is a 3-disc deluxe edition. You get 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. Beautiful box artwork. And Cannibal Holocaust. Very gruesome movie. Again, this is not really my favorite subgenre of horror movies, but every once in a while I'll check them out. It's been many years since I've seen either of these two movies, but it's good to know that if I ever wanted to pull one out, I have the best possible edition of them. This is a 3-disc edition. Again, you get 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. I'll kind of put those side by side. Take a look at those. Next one is another Fulci movie. This is a glow-in-the-dark slipcover. Beautiful cover too. Cat in the Brain. That's always been one of my favorite covers. There's Fulci right there, trying to get that reflection off of the box there from my flash. But let's see, this movie came out in 1990. It's a 3-disc deluxe edition. Again, you get 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. Plus you get all these bonus features here. Cat in the Brain. Here's a Peter Cushing movie, and this is probably his most unhinged role. This is Corruption. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo. It's for Peter Cushing's 100th birthday special edition. Now this came out several years ago now, though. Let's see if we can find a year on here. The movie came out in 1967, but this edition came out in 2013. Uncensored, uncut. Really sleazy movie. Peter Cushing plays the villain in here, and he's just a slime ball. Next one is called Duke Mitchell's Gone with the Pope. Low budget, kind of a crime movie, Blu-ray DVD combo. Pretty good stuff. Again, this is probably a title I would have never heard of or watched if it wasn't for Grindhouse Releasing. They put it on the map for me, and I thought this was a pretty decent movie. Glad to have it in the collection. Now, these next two are the same movie, just 2 different covers, and this is Hollywood 90028, also known as the Hollywood Hillside Strangler. I prefer that title better, but the edition on the right, the black and white cover, was a alternate cover. I'm not sure if that was a Grindhouse Releasing website exclusive, but that was the alternate cover, and this was the regular cover, I guess. Glad to have both of them. Let's see, I'm gonna pull this down so I can get that reflection off of there. But the movie came out in 1974. You get 2 Blu-rays in this set, and you can see all the special features, including a bonus CD soundtrack. So it's 2 Blu-rays and a CD, and this is exactly the same, but it just has a different cover. But you get all the same special features. You get 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. Which cover do you like better? The one on the right, to me, has kind of a Grindhouse feel to it. And this is Grindhouse Releasing, so it's perfect for that. The one on the left is pretty cool too. It has more of a modern cover to me. I like them both, but I prefer the one on the right, and I also prefer that title, the Hollywood Hillside Strangler. I think that's a great title. Okay, the next one is called I Drink Your Blood. Check that cover out. This was often paired with I Eat Your Skin, and these were shown at drive-in theaters for decades. And this one does come with a Eat Your Skin as part of the bonus features, and you get another movie called Blue Sextet, and you get a bunch of other bonus features. Very low budget, 1971 drive-in classic. Over the top gore. Here's one with William Shatner called Impulse. This is a really good movie, and this is a beautiful edition. This is one of their their latest, I should say, not their earliest. This is one of their more newer releases that came out about a year or two ago. And this is a 2 Blu-ray set. I don't think you get the CD soundtrack with this one, but you get a really beautiful presentation of the movie in 4K. And you get interviews with the director, William Griffey. You can see there that there's some pretty good bonus features here, and that's an excellent cover too. Check that out. Really beautiful. Glad to have that. Here's another Duke Mitchell movie. This one's called Massacre Mafia Style. Low budget crime movie. Pretty fun though. I'm glad that Grindhouse Releasing puts these out for everybody to kind of enjoy them. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't have heard about this movie if it wasn't for them. 1974, 82 minutes running time. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo, and it is region free. If you like low budget crime movies, check that out. I think you'll like it. The next one's called Pieces. This is a really good one. Over the top violence and gore. There was a couple of really good taglines at Pieces. It's exactly what you think it is. And the other one is, you don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre. And this is a really beautiful edition. Comes in that outer shell again. This is a 3-disc deluxe edition. You get 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. The movie came out in 1983. There's a lot of bonus features. You get 2 complete versions of the movie. One was the original, and the other one was the unrated US theatrical. Really glad to have this edition. I love this movie. And here's their latest, the newest release from Grindhouse Releasing. I still haven't watched it yet. This is called Palmer Rocky's Scarlet Warning 666. I'm probably going to watch this one next weekend. I haven't even taken it out of the wrapper yet, but I do plan to watch this. It was strictly limited to 3,000. You can see it there at the bottom. I got number 2665. You get 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. I don't know what I'm getting into with this one. I haven't heard anything about it yet. But sometimes, or most of the time, I prefer going into movies blind and just kind of experience them for myself and not hearing what other people say about it. This next movie has 2 different releases, and I really enjoyed this. I think this is a great movie starring Burt Lancaster. This is called The Swimmer. The one here on the right was the first release of it. It's kind of a plain Jane release, just a regular blue case with the movie. And you can see all of the bonus features there. It is is this Blu-ray only? Let's pop it open really quick. I think this may only be Blu-ray. There's the Blu-ray on the left and a DVD. So it is a Blu-ray DVD, and it comes with a booklet there. Again, if it wasn't for Grindhouse Releasing, I probably would have never watched this movie, and I absolutely love this movie. It plays out like a Twilight Zone episode, to me anyway. And then a few years down the road, they re-released it with a more deluxe packaging, and this is a really beautiful edition. I don't get rid of my doubles, so I'll keep that. as a collector. That's how we do it. Not everybody collects the same, so, but you get more bonus features now. And this is a 3-disc, so you get 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack. And I strongly recommend to watch this movie if you've never seen it before. And no matter which way you get it, do check it out. If you prefer a more collectible box set that comes with a CD soundtrack, I would hunt that one down, check it out. If you don't care about that stuff, I'm sure you can find this cheap on eBay somewhere. And the last one for Grindhouse Releasing before we get into Synapse. This is another great Euro crime movie from Umberto Lenzi. This is called The Tough Ones, starring Maurizio Merli and Tomas Milian. This is a really fun, gritty crime film. So this came out in 1976. Let's take a look here at the bonus features. It's 3 discs, you get 2 Blu-rays and a CD soundtrack, all those special features. This movie is a really fun time. I recommend it if you haven't seen it before. So I'm going to take a quick break, but you guys won't notice because I'll be right back and we'll hop into the Synapse Films. So before we get into Synapse, I just wanted to say that I really love the Grindhouse Releasing company, and I will continue to support them in any way I can, whether be buying movies from them or even just making videos and making you guys aware of these movies that are out there. I want them to keep releasing movies. I'll keep buying them. So getting into the Synapse Films, it's not a very large collection. These are all Blu-rays. All the DVDs I filed in with my DVD collection, so you'll see some of the Synapse Films DVDs in another video, but these are all going to be Blu-rays, and the first one is Countess Dracula from the Hammer Horror Collection. These British Gothic horror movies are fantastic. And let me see if I can find a year. It doesn't say. It's from the 60s. Oh, 1971 right there. It says 93 minutes running time. Ingrid Pitt. Gorgeous, gorgeous woman. Next one's called Crocodile, and this was a Synapse website exclusive slipcover. I had to grab this, and I think it's beautiful. The movie's a little strange. I think it's a Filipino movie. It's okay. I've seen better. There's a slasher movie called Curtains. Special edition. Some pretty gruesome kills in this movie. There's the killer wearing that mask. It's like a rubber witch mask. Movies from 1983. You don't really ever hear too many people talk about this one, but this is a more solid slasher movie from the 80s. I recommend it. And then we have the Demons movies. I know a lot of these have been upgraded to 4K, and I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. But this is Demons and Demons 2, a couple of movies that were directed by Lamberto Bava, who was the son of Mario Bava. And they were both produced by Dario Argento. These are monster movies from the 80s. Pretty good practical effects, monsters in rubber suits. And I really enjoyed the first one quite a bit. The second one's fun too, but the first one is a classic. You can see the special features there. That's part 2. And there's part 1. And then I did upgrade this one to 4K. This is the Demons 1 and 2 box set with a slipcover in 4K. Really glad to have that. This is one set that's definitely worthy of being in any horror fan's collection. You gotta have the Demons movies if you have a collection. Glad to have them. The next one is a documentary called Document of the Dead. This is the definitive edition on Blu-ray. This is a documentary about 1978's Dawn of the Dead. This was a synapsefilms.com exclusive. You can only get this on their website, but of course now you can get them just about anywhere on secondary markets. This is really fun. This came out in 2012. If you're a big fan of George A. Romero, and especially the Dawn of the Dead movie, or the movies, I think you'd get a kick out of this. You'd really enjoy that. It's one of my favorite documentaries. Next one is a Blu-ray DVD combo of Intruder. This is the director's cut. This was directed by Sam Raimi, right? No, Scott Spiegel. Sam Raimi was in the movie, as well as Ted Raimi. Executive producer was Charles Band. Written by Scott Spiegel. For some reason, I keep thinking this one was directed by Sam Raimi, but it's not. But this is another pretty good slasher movie from 1988. It's a grocery store slasher movie. Here's another documentary. This was called Just Desserts, the special edition, The Making of Creepshow. Another excellent documentary from a very excellent horror anthology movie. Creepshow came out in 1982, and this documentary came out in 2007. Definitely recommend it if you like Creepshow. Here's one called The Long Weekend. I think this was an Aussie flick. This is kind of a social commentary type movie where the nature is kind of fighting back because humans are destroying the planet type of a thing. So everything's kind of fighting back. Attempting to resurrect their failing marriage, Peter and Marcia set out on a camping trip to a deserted stretch of Australian coastline, hoping a long weekend in the sunshine will help them patch up their differences. They're a careless couple, littering the countryside with garbage, shooting guns, and even driving away after a wounded kangaroo hits their automobile. And so everything starts to fight back. It's one of those type of movies. It was actually pretty good though. It was from the late 70s, 1978. And it definitely has that 1978 feel to it. There's definitely a 70s vibe in that movie. Here's another good one. This is Maniac Cop. Bruce Campbell, Tom Atkins, and Robert Zadar. This is a really fun movie from the 80s, 1988, I think. 1988. Not a whole lot in the way of special features, but you do get a nice clean print of the movie. It's a really nice edition. And the next one's called Moratoris, Legions of the Dead. This is kind of it's sort of a H.P. Lovecraft type monster movie. Some pretty cool monsters in here. It says it was banned in Italy. I don't know why. This one came out in 2011. It says, 2 lovely Romanian girls take a trip with 3 Italian men to a rumored midnight rave in the middle of a dark forest. As a gang proceeds on foot to their final destination, a mysterious graveyard is discovered. Shockingly, vile plot twist is revealed and bloodthirsty undead Roman gladiators rise from the dead. But they're all kind of different type of monsters. You can see some of them here on the cover. You can see some of them on the back. It's almost kind of a steampunk Lovecraftian type movie. I guess that's the best way I could describe that one. Next one's called Prom Night. This is a great movie starring Jamie Lee Curtis. That's a really good slasher movie from the early 80s. I'd say 83 maybe. Nope, 80. 1980 exactly. And Jamie Lee Curtis looked fantastic in this movie. You can see Leslie Nielsen there. He's playing a serious role in this movie. No comedy here. Next one is called Samurai Avenger the Blind Wolf. No honor, no mercy, revenge is blind. This one came out in 2009. This is definitely a Grindhouse style movie. Crazy fun with witches, samurais, zombies. Yeah. It's a pretty fun ride. Pretty entertaining, that's for sure. Next one is called Sorceress. It's a very low budget sword and sandal type, sword and sorcery type movie. I put this one in a black case. I thought it looks pretty good. This is the uncensored director's approved edition. You can see Linda Blair front and center. She's in the movie. It was directed by Jim Wynorski, so you kind of know what you're getting into if you're familiar with Jim Wynorski. Jim Wynorski has a lot of gratuitous nudity in his movies, just for absolutely no reason. There's going to be a set of jugs or whatever. That's just how he is. To me, it's all unnecessary, but here's Street Trash. This is the Special Meltdown edition. This is a pretty good splatter flick from the 80s, 1987. Tenafly Viper. People are drinking this cheap wine called Tenafly Viper, and they're turning into monsters. Their bodies are just oozing and falling apart. I'm sure most of you have seen that one by now. Here's Dario Argento's gem. This is called Suspiria. This is a 2-disc Blu-ray edition. Don't really have to say much about this one. Everybody knows about Suspiria. And then I was able to get the 4K upgrade that comes with this slipcover. This is a really nice edition too. Really, really glad to have this. This is a movie I own many different times in my collection. It's a great movie. It looks really good. Here's another Hammer movie, British horror, called Vampire Circus. Let's see what we can tell you about this one. Came out in 1972. There's not a whole lot of special features, but again, you get a nice clean print. The movie looks fantastic. Synapse Films puts a lot of effort into their releases. It's always the highest of quality. So that was the last from the Synapse Films. So far we've gone over all of the Grindhouse Releasing up to the tough ones, and then we've gone through all of the Synapse Films Blu-rays. We'll go through the Lorie Brewster Digi-packs, and then I'll take you in the other room and we'll look at some box sets. I'll tell you a little bit about Lorie Brewster. He's a Scottish independent filmmaker, and he kind of dabbles in some of the low-budget horror. His movies are really good, and I was able to crowdfund a couple of his movies and getting to know him pretty well over the years. He's a really good guy, and anytime he needs help to crowdfund movies, I'll be glad to help him out. And he has a pretty huge following of fans, so I'm sure that's not going to be a problem for him. But I do have his first 5 movies, and I'm going to go over those briefly. This is called Lord of Tears. That's the Owl Man. That's the villain in the movie. And I crowdfunded this, and I got an Owlman figure. I think it was a Mezco Toys. I have that somewhere. It's not going to be in this video, but this is a really cool edition. I'm not going to open these, but when I get to the last one, Dragon Knight, I'll show you what these look like on the inside. But this was Lord of Tears. This was probably his best one, I think. And I believe this was his first movie. Put that off to the side here so it doesn't fall. And then number 2 is called The Unkindness of Ravens. These are all Blu-rays, but the boxes are kind of DVD size as far as height, but they're much thicker because it's kind of a box set type deal. So this was his second movie. You can try to hunt these down. These are really cool editions. And then the third one was called The Black Gloves. And that's one of his frequent collaborators. I think her name was Sarah Daly. She's a Scottish actress, and I'm not sure if they're in a relationship or what the deal is with that, but they do frequently collaborate, and I think they do really good work together. Here's the Owl Man again in that one. And then the last two, this is called The Devil's Machine. There's Sarah Daly again. I think that's her name, Sarah Daly. She's a very beautiful and a very great actress. These are kind of artsy, but they're very well done. For low budget horror, these are really, really nice. They definitely have a British Gothic vibe to them. And then here is his latest. It's called Dragon Knight. I think he does have one more on the way, or it may be out already. But this is a really nice edition. I'll show you how these look. It's a trifold, so it opens up like so. And there's 3 discs. You get a Blu-ray, you get a CD-ROM, and you get the DVD. So that's like the soundtrack right there. And these things are just really, really nice. You can see the background art there when it's unfolded. It looks really good. Also, if you're on Facebook, Lorie Brewster's also on Facebook, and he's very fan friendly. So shoot him a friend request and chat with him a little bit. Get to know him. He's a really cool guy. I don't go on Facebook anymore, but I used to, and I kind of miss these kind of days when I would talk to the directors and stuff like that. But yeah, these are his 5 movies. I believe he does have one more in the works, or it may even be out already. But try to track these down, add them to your collection. If you have any suggestions or questions about any of the Grindhouse Releasing or Synapse Films, please feel free to leave any comments or suggestions. And we're going to go in the other room now and check out some box sets. Okay, so we're back in a familiar place to you. I'm sure you recognize this as my bedroom. Got the Dawn of the Dead posters and Dead trilogy, and the dogs are here. It's a very lazy Sunday. I was thinking about cutting the grass today, but it was so wet in the back from all the rain we've had lately that I just kind of stayed in and have been doing some organizing and cleaning. And so this is going to be a filler portion of the video, and I'm just going to kind of go through some of the VHS clamshells that I didn't show the other day. And I've been kind of moving things around a little bit, and I grabbed a couple stacks just to kind of show. This is the VHS clamshell of cryptids. This was a Joe Bob Briggs anthology movie, and this was put out by Scream Team Releasing, and I got a signed up copy here from just about anybody who had anything to do with the movie. It's a really nice edition. As far as I'm aware, Scream Team Releasing is the only company that's kind of releasing VHS anymore, but I think they look great, and I'll keep picking them up. I have, let's see, I have Cruel Summer 3. I still have to get the first 2, and I think they're still available on their website. I have all 3, and actually there's a 4th one now. I don't have the 4th one, but I have the first 3 on Blu-ray, and I have part 3 on VHS, and there's also a 4th one now. As far as I know, part 4 didn't come out on VHS yet, though, but it does have a Blu-ray. This is kind of a low budget, kind of a Scream ripoff, but this is actually pretty good. And I actually haven't seen part 3 yet. I saw the first 2 on Blu-ray. I haven't seen part 3 yet, or part 4, but really glad to have that. I think those look great, and if you want to see what they look like on the inside, really nice. Again, not too many people are kind of embracing VHS anymore, but I still like them. Here's Worst Laid Plans. I'll admit, though, that I don't watch these on VHS. These are more collector's pieces. I'll watch them on Blu-ray if I can, or even if it's just DVD, I'll watch it. But it's been quite some time since I watched a VHS tape. I have 2 working VHS players, but they're just not hooked up right now. But I need to remedy that and get at least one of those hooked up and put every once in a while. I would watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre again on VHS just to get that kind of the crackling feel, that, you know, the cigarette burns and all the different, how it's kind of a little bit of lower quality. adds some charm to that, especially TCM. Here's one called Spine Chiller. If you're unfamiliar with Scream Team Releasing, they do a lot of independent horror releases, and if you go over there, there's just about something for everybody. There's all kinds of stuff there. You can buy autographed editions, you can buy just plain editions if you want, but there's something over there for everybody. I'll leave a link to their website and you can go check that out. Here's the remake of Spider Baby. The original was from, I think, 1967. It had Sid Haig in it. This was a recent remake from executive producer Jack Hill, who did the original too. There's the website there, Scream Team Releasing. This is one of my favorites. I recently got this within the last few months. This is the Warner Home Video Friday the 13th. VHS tape clamshell. This is really nice. It would have been even better if young Jason was kind of coming up to pull Alice into the water. But I think this is a great addition. Really glad to have that. And then here is a signed copy of 1031 Part 2. This is another horror anthology hosted by, I forget her name. I think it started with an M, like Morgana or something, but it wasn't that. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Otherwise, I'll pause it. And oh, right there, Malvolia, and she signed it there in the cover. I think that's her signature, but I'm not really 100%. It doesn't look like it has. Yeah, I'm not sure whose signature that is. It doesn't look like Malvolia, but that's her. She's the horror hostess in between the segments for this horror anthology. These movies are pretty good, the 1031 movies. I think there's like 4 parts of them. If you haven't seen any of them, check it out. It's really cool. They're fun to watch around the Halloween season. They're all kind of Halloween themed like that. The next one's called The Pumpkin Man. This was a pretty good movie for low-budget independent horror. The monster looked really good. He was in a rubber suit, and this is another kind of a Halloween-themed horror movie. And I really enjoyed this. You can see the monster there. There's a lot of heart and soul into these independent films, and I can connect with that. I think these are great. Here's one called Heebie Jeebie TV. This one's kind of weird, but it was still pretty fun. It's another kind of a variety or an anthology type movie. This is more on the comedy side than it is horror, but there's some sci-fi elements, some horror elements, some comedic elements. I have this one on, that's a pretty cool tape, purple and green. I have this one also on Blu-ray. I think I have the signed copy. It's a pretty good cover. I have a couple of VHS big boxes, the Barn and the Barn 2. These are really hard to find now. They were even hard to find when they first came out. They sold out so quick. These are still sealed. I have these on DVD and Blu-ray as well. I'm not going to open these because these are just collector's pieces, but really, really glad to have these. These were one hot ticket. There were 2 different covers for each movie. I think this was a Graham Humphreys cover. This was the original cover. They also had a separate Graham Humphreys cover, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. And then this had an alternate cover, and then this was Let's see if it says on the back if it was Graham Humphreys. I don't really want to take up too much of your time. I know time is precious and you guys got a bunch of things to do. And I'm not seeing it. But you can see some of the actors from the segments in here. You got R.A. Lehman, who was the young Jason. You got Linnea Quigley, Joe Bob Briggs, Doug Bradley, who was Hellraiser, Pinhead in Hellraiser. So, and these are really, really nice additions. Very highly collectible pieces, and I'm really glad to have these. And not only that, though, they're really fun movies too. But I watch them on Blu-ray. And the last one for the VHS for this video. We're going to show some other things, but this will be the last VHS. This one's called Exposure, a monster movie. It has Lynn Lorie in it. You may recognize that name. She got her very start in I Drink Your Blood, but she's been in a lot of stuff over the years. She's a scream queen. You would recognize her if you saw her, and I'm sure many of you know the name and know the face. I like how they kind of put stickers on there. Please rewind. I still really love and enjoy VHS. They just give me a fuzzy feeling. I can't really explain it, but all right, let's stop it here for a minute and we'll get into some more stuff. I have a couple of tins. Two of them are lunch boxes, and one is a giant-sized tin. We'll go through this one first, of Forbidden Planet. This one may have a little bit of dust on it. This is a really nice addition. This was the 50th anniversary tin for Forbidden Planet. Probably one of the best sci-fi movies out there. And we'll take a little deep dive into here. It just opens up like so. There's a Digi-pack with the movie in it. You also get a, it's probably like a 4-inch or 3.5-inch Robbie the Robot, who was the, I guess, main character in the movie. I never took it out, but he's a great collectible. I think that looks really cool. And we'll just kind of take a look here at the Digi-pack. Really good sci-fi movie from the 50s. Has a really young Leslie Nielsen in it. They're calling it here one of the greatest sci-fi masterpieces of all time. I think we can all pretty much agree on that. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. And let's see, here's this slip cover that goes over the top. Check this out. I love the color scheme here, the chartreuse and the different greens and the darks. It looks really, really great. Really, really great. The movie came out in 1956. I think I said in the 60s, but it was even earlier than that. There you can see the chapter stops. Here, take a closer look at that. Deleted scenes, lost footage. You get the DVD for the movie The Forbidden Planet, and then there's a second feature here called The Invisible Boy. Also has Robbie the Robot in it. Take a look at the panoramic view of the spaceship. Look at that. That looks beautiful. They really did a fantastic job. Now, I have upgraded this movie. This is the DVD. I do have this on Blu-ray a couple different times too, but I will never get rid of this. This is just a beautiful collectible piece. And then there's a little pocket here that has lobby cards in it. We'll take a look at that too. You can order a life-size Robbie the Robot. That would be cool. 7-foot tall robot. I don't know what they were asking for it. This box set probably came out 20 years ago, so let's take a look at some of these lobby cards here. First, we'll take a look at the pouch that it comes in. Even the pouch is awesome. Look at the different planets and stars and constellations and nebulas and all kinds of stuff. And then there was a bunch of stuff here on the inside. The Great Gift Sets collection from Warner Home Video. You can see some of the box sets that they had to offer. There's a really nice John Wayne box set. Marx Brothers, a Gene Kelly box set. That would be pretty awesome. A lot of really excellent stuff. I have that Val Lewton box. That's a great box. There's film noir box sets. Those are really fun too. Tarzan, King Kong. There's all kinds of really great stuff in here. Wow. And we have, looks like, what is this, like a bookmark or something? You can get a free 27 by 40 reproduction poster. I wouldn't mind having a reproduction of those, of that, I mean. The original's probably thousands of dollars, depending on quality, if it's in good condition. So these are art cards or lobby cards from scenes from the movie. They're just kind of plain on the back, so we'll just keep moving. Definitely has a Lost in Space vibe. I think Lost in Space probably had a lot of inspiration from this movie. Whoa, that's cool. The sci-fi, or the science monster who would destroy the world. That's a cool shot right there. I love sci-fi movies. Probably my second favorite genre next to horror, and sci-fi is really close to horror for me. And then probably my third favorite would be like the sword and sandals, sword and sorcery, or Western, depending on how I feel that day. Whoa, that's awesome. And then we're back to that life-size Robbie the Robot. I'm going to put this stuff away and we'll keep moving. Next is a Friday the 13th lunchbox. This came as, it's a little dusty, but this came as a box set for the Ultimate DVD collection. It was an FYE exclusive. And you can flip the little latch, and inside was the 8-movie box set on DVD. You get all 8, the first 8 movies on DVD, and then it came with glued to the bottom. It's just kind of like their info card for all the specs about the movies. And I'm really glad to have this edition. I don't think I've really shown it that much here on the channel, so I wanted to kind of add it to this video. I definitely need to clean this a little bit. This was sitting high on a shelf for a couple of years, so it didn't really get much action. It wasn't really held very much, and it just collected a little bit of dust there on the top. And then I have another lunchbox. This was also a DVD box set. This was from Land of the Lost, the television show from the 70s. And this is a really nice edition. I'm sure some of you are much too young to even remember what a lunchbox was or looked like, but we used to bring our lunches to school in these things. You can get a sandwich, a snack, some fruit, and a thermos with milk or juice or whatever mom decided to put in there that day. So this set, I'll take it out and show you. Comes with this, so I gotta take all this stuff out first. So there's like a little insert here that I just pulled out, but it's just meant as kind of a spacer to hold everything in place so it doesn't jostle around when you're handling it. But it's a really nice art card type thing. There's a lot of nice colors and imagery there in that for just being a spacer. And then on the inside, you get the first, I think it was only 3 seasons, so you get the complete 3 seasons of Land of the Lost from the world of Sid and Marty Krofft. And the last Krofft brother just died a few days ago. I think it was Sid. Sid was the last one living. I think he was like 97 years old or something like that. So there are no more Krofft brothers. It's sad to think of, but they lived long, long lives, and they left a legacy for us to enjoy forever till we're gone. So there's the disc art. I'll show you what the background looks like. You can see some characters and scene from the show. And on the back, it tells a little bit about each episode. And so here's what season 2 looks like. These were called Sleestak, if I remember. Sleestak, I think. This is season 2. You get 2 discs. You get a viewing there of some of the characters and some of the terrain. The show is really amazing as far as special effects and how they made you feel like you were really on another planet in a different world. So that's the complete season 2. And then season 3, the final season, again was 2 discs. See some of the characters. Those were kind of the villains of the show. So those were just some of the tins that I have in my collection, these 2 lunch boxes and this Forbidden Planet tin. Really glad to have all 3 of these. Just wanted to do a little show and tell and show you guys. Next, I just wanted to show somewhat of a pretty rare piece in my collection. This is a German hardbox edition. I don't really have too many hardboxes anymore. I used to have a dozen or 20, something like that back in the day. I still have all of my Texas Chainsaw hard boxes. I still have this one. I don't think I'll ever get rid. I almost sold this at one point, but thank God I didn't. This is from the movie Night Beast, and it was put out by 84 Entertainment. And shout out to a viewer of mine from Germany, Stefan, who relayed some bad news to me last week that the owner of 84 Entertainment has recently passed away from cancer. I didn't know that until Stefan told me, so that's a shame. He left a legacy of his own, and he has some really nice collectibles that he has out in the universe, and I'm glad to own some of these myself. So this is from the movie Night Beast that starred George Stover. It's a sci-fi horror movie with a monster in a rubber suit. These are all the same movie, just 3 different covers, and they come in this box set. And I'm going to take it out and show you. But it was incredibly limited. It was limited to 111 pieces. I got number 28. We'll slide these out. Comes in this little half shell here. Shows the monster from the movie. Really cool edition. And then again, all 3 of these are exactly the same movie. It's just 3 different covers. And when you put the spines together, it spells out Night Beast. But these are really, really nice. And each of the circle stickers corresponds with the circle sticker on the bottom. You can see some of the still frames. I like this movie a lot. I think it's really good. Here's another edition of it. Has everything the same on the back. And I just wanted to kind of show this. I did show this a long time ago on the channel. And like I was just mentioning before, I had almost sold this to a fellow YouTuber, but the sale fell through, and I'm so glad that I kept this because it's going to be impossible to find this again. But that is the Night Beast box set from 84 Entertainment. Couple more things I wanted to show. This is a Don Coscarelli movie called Bubba Hotep that starred Bruce Campbell as a guy who thought he was Elvis Presley. And this is an MGM release. You may remember some of these that were released with kind of gimmicky covers, and this one had a Elvis Presley kind of the jumpsuit, that karate jumpsuit that he had later in his career. And that's the suit that Bruce Campbell wears in the movie, and we'll take this out and take a look at it. I have never taken this out before. I've only just had it as on display, but we're going to pause it and take it out. There's really not a whole lot to this, but you do get the Elvis jumpsuit. Looks like there's a piece of the box was stuck on there. This thing has never been out of that plastic box until now. And it's just a DVD cover. These things are pretty ridiculous. And if I wouldn't have gotten a really good deal on this, I wouldn't have bought it. But this is the DVD Bubba Hotep. You can see how ridiculous they went with all the security stickers. And that's what the outer case looks like. So this thing will go back in that plastic case, probably never to be opened again, at least not by me. But I just wanted to kind of share this with you. And the next one, I wanted to kind of show off this custom Nightmare on Elm Street box set that I bought from a Etsy seller probably a couple of years ago now. But I don't think he sells these anymore. I'm not sure. You'd have to go to Etsy and type it in and try to find it. But this was a really nice addition, and I'm going to take all the discs out so you can see it. So there's actually no movies at all in this set. It's just the box and the covers, and you can add your own movies at some point. But I'm just going to kind of go through and show you the different covers. They all come in these nice black 4K cases. Just want to show you that there's nothing in there, but he did give, it's a 2-disc set for each of these cases. So if you decide that you want to add maybe the Blu-rays and the 4Ks, you can do that if you wish to, which is a great idea. Here's part 2, Freddy's Revenge. These are all the original covers. Part 3 is Dream Warriors. Part 4, The Dream Master. Again, I have shown this on the channel before, but I just wanted to kind of show it again because not everybody watches every video, and I have gained new subscribers, so maybe people haven't seen this yet. Here's the Final Nightmare. New Nightmare. Freddy versus Jason. This is the remake with Jackie Earle Haley, right? Jackie Earle Haley plays Freddy. And then here is the documentary, Never Sleep Again. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really glad to have this. I probably will add the movies into here at some point, but it's a nice shelf piece, collectible. Here's another piece that I bought from an Etsy seller, and this is the Michael Myers house. You can see that it's in a little bit of disrepair. You can see that the gutter is falling off. You can see Michael in the window. And if you pan back a little bit, it has the address tag there, 709. And I bought this outer shell from an Etsy seller. And I bought all the movies from a separate Etsy seller and put it together myself. So when you order this house display piece, it comes empty. And then I just added, all of these movies were custom from another different Etsy seller. And this is Halloween 1. I'll just kind of go through this quick. I have to go charge my phone because there was one more box set after this I want to show, and then we'll end the video. Here's Halloween 2. These are all fan-made, custom-made slip covers. They all have the, there's no movies inside of these, but there are black keep cases inside. Here's Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers. I don't know if these are still available too. You'd have to go over to Etsy and just search for these, but here's The Curse of Michael Myers. H2O. Resurrection. And these are the Rob Zombie Halloween. This was part 1. Part 2. Tyler Mane as Michael Myers. And then we have the recent trilogy, which is Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. A really nice little piece. I just wanted to share that with you in case you wanted to try to hunt that down. Okay, we'll do one more box set and then we'll wrap this up. This was the Monster Legacy DVD gift set with the Universal Monster movies. And these little figurines, these little sculpts were designed by Sideshow Collectibles. And we're gonna take everything out and we're going to go through and show you what's in this box set. This is a pretty cool set. I really love this thing. It sits on top of a cabinet and it's perfectly displayable with this little window box here with this nice green box. And then on the inside, you get these little kind of head sculpt busts things. This was Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman from 1941. These were sculpted, like I said, by Sideshow Collectibles. Nice little pieces there. So that's Lon Chaney as the Wolfman. And we have Bela Lugosi, 1931 Dracula. I bid you welcome. They're really nice. These are pretty heavy too. And the third one is Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster. Really great likeness. Really beautiful piece. And also with this box set, you get these little sets here. This is the Wolfman set from the Legacy collection. So you get, let me see here. Not only do you get the first Wolfman movie, but you get Werewolf of London from 1935, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman from 1943, and She-Wolf of London from 1946. And there's a documentary on here called Monster by Moonlight. Really nice editions. I'm not going to pull them all out, but it just has kind of like a little window box here again with some art there in the background. That art is actually on that plastic sheet. And then these boxes are kind of like hard boxes almost. They have the same kind of design and feel to them, but there's the original, The Wolf Man, and then there's the other movies that I mentioned. They come on a flipper disc, and then you can see some of the artwork in the background. Really beautiful editions. The next one is the Dracula Legacy Collection, and in this one you get a bunch of goodies here. You get Spanish version of Dracula, Dracula's Daughter from 1936, Son of Dracula from 1943, and House of Dracula from 1945. And the third one is the Frankenstein collection. And in this set, you get The Bride of Frankenstein, 1935, Son of Frankenstein, 1939, Ghost of Frankenstein, 1942, and The House of Frankenstein, 1944. Love the Universal monsters, they're great. So that will conclude the video of my Grindhouse Releasing, Synapse, Lorie, Brewster, and some box sets I wanted to share with you. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. I'm going to send my best wishes and best vibes to you for a nice, safe week ahead of you. It's just me and Hannah in here right now. Heidi took off in the other room. So thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Later.